morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. I know it's been a while since my last vlog. I've tried to put a few together, kind of deleted them. I don't like to just keep repeating the same thing, and really the same thing has been happening in the news. I just don't want to repeat it. There's plenty of people out there that just repeat the same thing that you find on Tucker Carlson or mainstream media. Same thing. I like to try to put a little spin on it, or maybe talk about something that no one's really talking about, or a different angle. And I found one that's kind of interesting, and that is the state of the state, the inflation. And you're going, oh, everyone talks about that. I go, yeah, I know, just hang on. So if you listen to Biden or Karine Jean-Pierre, well, you know, there's nothing to worry about. I mean, if you think inflation is something to worry about, then you ain't black. I mean, no, that's a different topic. You know, there's no economist out there, like Biden says, in their right mind that thinks inflation's a problem. Inflation's not a problem. Jean-Pierre, Karine Jean-Pierre will tell you that, well, it's global, you know, they're global, the little global semantic, but there's no problem out there. Then, of course, if you turn on Tucker Carlson or anything on the right wing, you know, sticks, hex, and hammer, whatever, but Tucker, well, there's inflation, it's a problem. You know, they and Greg Gutfeld, I mean, they made fun of the Inflation Reduction Act party with James Taylor at the White House. So you get Biden that says it ain't a problem, man. Then you get sort of right-wing media that says, well, it's a problem. So you can look anywhere you want, but so I decided to look elsewhere. Well, let's just look at what really the people behind the scenes of the Biden administration say. And for that, we go to the United States Department of Agriculture. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is news headlines from Michigan. But if you think the militant state of Michigan is the only one that's doing this, well, you would be wrong. I just don't have time to clip from all the different states, but I did find New York as one of them. But anyways, here's a nice little, you know, image of the Department of Agriculture, and we're talking about the SNAP program. Now, the SNAP program, for you youngins out there, is just a SNAP program where you get, where you can go to the grocery store and you can get food. You know, for us old timers out there, at one time they were called food stamps. They came with a fucking booklet. But now it's a SNAP program. It's just a little nice little debit card. You know, in Michigan, I don't know if it's the same thing, but we have the bridge card. So it looks just like a credit card, so you can sort of conceal the card from the people standing behind you in line, and no one really knows whether it's a bridge card or just your debit card. So anyways, the SNAP program, well, September anyways, has once again continued with the emergency under the Emergency Family Act or something like that, to increase the funding for SNAP recipients. Now, why do you say they would be increasing? the money for SNAP recipients? Well, it's easy. It's because of the increase in food prices. But we don't have inflation, and no one's concerned about it. No, legitimate economist is complaining about inflation, but yet states like the militant state of Michigan is getting more money to give to SNAP recipients to offset the price of increasing food prices. And here's a picture of a snapshot of how much they receive currently. And I bring this up for a couple reasons. First is to show you how much they get. They're going to be getting like an additional at least $95, or it could be $95 a person. I don't know, but let's just say everyone's going to get the increase up to like $100 a month additional. Well, what I also wanted to show you was, and maybe the people that are complaining about student loans, about the $10,000 isn't enough, or it's just a paltry sum, they've got maybe a bit of an argument when you look at the SNAP program. If you look down to a family of 4, that is almost the exact dollar amount for $10,000 a year. And the $10,000, I guess with the exception of Pell Grant maybe. So the increase in amounts for the SNAP program over the last 2 years is basically the equivalent of what SNAP recipient, or the SNAP recipients would get over at least like a 2-year period if it was $20,000. But for the most part, it's 1 year that we give a family of 4 for food income supplement, or whatever you want to call it. So maybe they have a point. So Biden's own government agencies think there's a food increase problem and inflation problem. And then so you'll say, well, what are they going to spend this extra money on? I mean, there's a food shortage out there. Well, not if you look at not if you listen to the learned among us. They say, well, there's really not a food shortage. No, this was a clip from 2021, from about this time in 2021. See, there's no food shortage. It's just a supply chain issue. This next one was from fairly recently, and you should be able to tell because it says no, there's no food shortage. Well, maybe baby formula, but other than that, there's really not a food shortage. So that one hits home. So, like I said, it's just a supply. It's a supply chain issue. There's no food shortage out there. You guys, quit your complaining. Quit your griping. It's just not as bad as you think it is. But, of course, some people say, well, the supply chain thing, well, that's a crisis. And we can't let a good crisis go to waste. So what's happening now? Well, the railroad workers are going to go on strike. That's right. The main chain in the supply chain has decided they ain't working. And there must be sort of a union kind of conspiracy thing going on, because nurses are also deciding that, they want to go on strike. There's some in Minneapolis. But anyways, the railroad workers want to go on strike. As you can see, one says, well, if it's a week, it's not a problem. But if it lasts more than a week, well, that's a problem. Okay? But there doesn't have to be one. Because the Senate can put in like one of these, similar to like an executive order, this emergency order that doesn't allow them to go on strike. to me, I'm just thinking it sort of reminds me of when the air traffic controllers wanted to go on strike, and Reagan said, get your ass to work or we'll replace you. And some of them said, I ain't going to work, and so Reagan replaced them. But anyways, Senate can put in this like emergency order that says, no, you're not going on strike. But Bernie Sanders, no, Sanders says, not so fast. Not so fast. This time, we're sticking up for the workers. I wish I could do his voice like, this time, we're sticking up for the workers. Sounds too soprano. I can't do his voice. I wish I could. So he's gonna vote sort of against this to let them strike. A guy that's never worked a fucking day in his life has decided he's gonna stick up for the workers now. Because we can't let that crisis go to waste. I don't know who's on Bernie Sanders' side on this one. I don't know. But anyways, the strike happens. Supply chain gets delayed once again. And then once again, the prices go up. So then here will be the real kick in the ass. if this isn't bad enough, and don't you think it ought to be? So the real kick in the ass will be things will get a whole lot worse, and then the Democratic slogan for the midterm elections are going to be, well, yeah, things are bad, but Republicans want to make them worse. So you can't vote for those rat bastards because, let me see, they'll be coming after Social Security, and of course they're going to want to cut health care, the same old bullshit, but it'll be, boy, if you think things are bad now, why, they want to just make them worse. So the Democrats create this holy hell that we're living in, and then they want to complain that someone else might make it worse. Keep me in my job. I've run this country into the ground, but keep me there because, oh, this guy could be a whole lot worse. What a bunch of morons. What a bunch of morons. But there you have it. I want to do something, this is a question maybe that little Deucey boy would ask Karine Jean-Pierre about, well, if there isn't a problem with food and there isn't a problem with inflation, why are you giving all these states additional SNAP money to combat increases in food prices? Okay, you don't hear that on Tucker. You don't hear that from Sticks. I know I'm picking on Sticks today. I don't know why. I just got to bug up my ass about Sticks. But you don't hear that from anybody talking about his actual administration handing out more money to people because of the price increases. But inflation isn't a problem. Nope. And 10 grand, I mean, to a lot of people are going, oh, those sons of bitches shouldn't have gone to college anyways. And, let them pay back their own student loans. And that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But when you realize that that's $10,000 is like 1 year of SNAP payments to a family of 4. 1 year. 1 year. And of course, well, hey, if things aren't bad enough, the railroad workers are going to go on strike, driving up prices even higher. And then when it's a real shitstorm out there in next month you'll hear the Democrats tell you, well, it's bad out there, but it's going to get even worse if you vote Republican. So that's what you have to look forward to. Nobody's got any answers. Let's just keep raising prices, making the poor working stiffs out there keep trying to pay their own way through this misery. Keep paying their taxes, keep working, keep paying the gasoline prices, battle it out with the, battle it out at the food at the grocery stores for a couple for their ramen noodles, and have to pay for them. Actually, have to pay for them, and then wait and see what happens with the railroad workers, because hey, you can't blame them for not letting a good crisis go to waste. There was something I saw, I don't even know, I was watching a show last night, and I think it was called Rome, and it's just a little mini series, probably all fictitious, maybe not, maybe there's some truth in there, but they were talking about how Rome was collapsing because basically all the slaves were taking all the jobs, and then the nobility owned all the property. And the first thing I thought of was Bill Gates buying all the farmland. So you're gonna have the rich people and the corporations owning all the farmland, and all the illegals doing the work, and then we're just sort of caught in the middle of not really being able to get ahead and not being able to work, because, well, who's going to work for those kind of wages? So I guess we're at the beginning of the end of the last days of the Roman Empire. So we all saw how that ended. So I guess maybe we should go back to toga parties and orgies while we can, and try to enjoy the misery that's going to fall upon us. So that's it for today. It's a little long, but hey, it was worth it. This one was long, but definitely worth it. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.